What's the deal? It's your boy Rico the Barber, man. We in here with No Matter What Show. This is not a podcast. Putting everybody in position to understand mental health, understanding growth, positivity, man. And shout out to Omar Burger for them great wings he pulled up with. My boy
Yes,
B,
sir.
you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Got Chris Breezy in here, you know what I'm saying? Day, great photographer, or however you say it. I'm dyslexic or whatever. We got Tyra, Lenoir Agency, you know what I'm saying? Everybody production. We're gonna start off with Chris Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Chris Brown. It's been a while since I've been back in front of a mic, and I don't have an intro like Rico. You know, Rico's super swaggy, super cool. You know, if you guys know me, I'm super laid back, so you know my intro is not gonna be fly or anything like that. But I am very happy to be back on the mic. Like I said, you know, I took a break from doing this, but now I'm back. You know, we got a new team. We are not a podcast, we're a show, and we are just ready to push forward and pick up where we left off. You know, I met some really great people along the way, and I'm working with some bosses now. So, you know, it's time to boss up, and I'm just blessed to be in this position. So, you know, I'm happy to see you guys again, and let's keep it moving.
What up, everybody? It's Brandon, aka VP or Mr. Oh My, representing Oh My Burger, the most popular burger stand in LA. Tomorrow, exactly. I'm happy to be here. I can't wait to see what the season outcome is gonna be, and welcome to the family.
Gang, gang, gang. What's the deal?
My
Day
dog.
here. It's Day. Some of y'all know me as Day the Bay. Some of y'all know me as Day Michelle Photography. Yeah, this is Now What Show. It's definitely not a podcast. I'm happy to be here with some of my great counterparts here. They're amazing people, bosses, and yeah.
I just got to correct you because it's no matter what.
You were supposed to let that go.
What
You
is
was
that?
not supposed to.
Okay, I'm
You
just.
said, now what?
I'm not gonna let
But
it
it
go.
worked. Just let
But
it go.
I'm not the one that's gonna let it go this season. I'm Tyra.
Oh my God.
Talk your shit.
Couple haters at the table.
Talk your shit.
I'm Tyra Nicole, owner of Lenoir Agency. I'm gonna just shout that out real fast.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes. But yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm not gonna let nothing go because I'm gonna keep it straightforward. I'm ready to go.
We see who calling
My
shit out.
partners,
She
I'm gonna
only
call it
acting
all
like
out.
that. She only acting like that because we put too much on it. You know, like,
She checking niggas about what the podcast name is and everything.
All of that.
Out the gate.
Out the gate.
cut the lights off.
I love it.
All of that. So let's get started. I'm excited. So I just want to, let's do a quick check-in because this podcast is about mental health. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about entrepreneurship, like what's going on in the world. So how y'all feeling, like mentally? Like how y'all been with all of this that's going on in 2025? I feel like, you know, with the plane crashes, Trump's new administration, the Pakistan lady, it's a lot going on. So how are y'all like coping in a time like this?
I'm pretty good. I tend not to let things that don't readily affect me get to my mental health. I know I do love to talk about, you know, what's going on. I like to be transparent and open and honest about what's going on. So for me, it's just a regular conversation with the homies like now. That's how I, you know, check in with my mental health. That's how I stay balanced. That's how I stay sane with all that's going on. How about you, B?
Man, you know, personally, I'm a little clouded, you know, but that's due to work for sure. A lot of stress there. But as far as like what's going on in the world, social media, president, rap beefs, all that's just funny games to me. Even but minus the deportation part, but hey, you know,
Respectfully,
yeah,
that's a big
minus
deal.
that, but other than that,
Shout out to my Latinos.
yeah, for sure.
We gotta respect that.
LA, just like Tupac said, LA ain't nothing
Shout out
without
the Mexicans.
Hello.
Okay.
Straight like
so,
that.
yeah, but I'm good.
How has it been like in this climate? Because I know I feel like a lot of industries are now like slow. So with the brick and mortar, how's it been?
Oh shoot, for me it's a little opposite. It's been busier for
That's good.
my business, I would say, but that has to do with like marketing. My boy Chef Chris Brown. He
Indeed.
helps out a lot too. So
Yeah.
marketing for sure, and what we doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine.
For me, man, mental health is like, it's a big deal. And it sucks watching that you just really can't help somebody in that situation. And I think 2025 has been a kind of a up and down year. You know, I've had a lot of great things happen, but also, you know, bad news. You know, we lost a figure in LA, D-Lo's Kitchen Chef D, passed away this year. That was crazy.
Rest in peace, D-Lo.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to have him on the previous show that I had and tell his story. So that was very heartbreaking. Everything going on with ICE is messed up, man. And I just feel like, you know, people are really struggling out there. You know, no matter what you see on IG, I tell people all the time, IG is not real. People are really hurting and struggling.
That's a fact.
So as far as like mental health for me personally, I just I'm strong mentally. So, but people that aren't, I just say find something that, whether it's a motivational video or whether it's a video game or it's a book, you know, just take time to just focus on your mental health. And I think a lot of people, we move so fast in LA, we don't get a chance to really like take time for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, you know, anybody listening or watching, take some time out of your day and find something. You know, for me, video games is like my escape. So find something and take care of your mental health.
Real talk, respect.
And find God, because listen, at the end of the day, He's the one that's gonna take you through everything.
Okay, Whitney.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love
Okay,
Whitney.
Whitney Houston. We in the building.
No, but I do want
Real
to say
talk.
something though about the whole ICE Latino type
Oh,
of
talk
thing.
it, talk it.
And you know, I ain't gonna bullshit. The numbers came back, and the Latinos was the main ones that was voting for Trump. So it's kind of like a gotcha,
Gotcha.
the gag
Definitely.
on y'all ass. But
Yeah.
hey,
I mean,
shout out to my Latinos.
Was that
Trust me.
California based or just like in general?
That's
in the
just the
United
numbers
States?
all the way around.
I think it's a sensitive subject to speak on the
Yeah,
the
it's
Latino.
sensitive, but
I don't
it
know,
is
yeah,
what it
you
is.
know, for the most part. But for the concept of, you know, mental health, you know, the stability of it, mental health is very important. I'm a person that goes through mental health issues, and I have to fuck around and engage with the people I cut. I'm a barber, and you know, with everybody that I cut and that supports me, they help me grow mentally. You know what I'm saying? So I think you have to speak about what you go through. I think that helps a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
everybody has mental health issues. You know, like Chris Brown said, you know, video games or, you know, anything that deals with, you know, internet or anything like
TikTok,
that shit helps. You know what I'm
whatever.
saying? It helps. People, you know, smoke some weed, you know, take a couple shots of some liquor, you know what I'm saying? Maybe knock some shit down, who knows? But you know, it all matters on what makes you feel better to just conquer that, you know, and go forward and appreciate where you are in life and don't dwell on what happened. Just go forward, you know. Real talk.
Would you say men have a tougher time with mental health? Like, recognizing it for one.
I know I do.
Two, speaking about it.
Yeah.
Of course.
I know I do. I mean, like, I think it takes, as a man, I think it takes a woman to help a man get through that. Because, I mean, even bros, like, we can talk to bros, but bros need women too. Like, I'm not finna lay on the homie chest and be like, hey, how's it going? Everything, I just had a fucked up day. No, I mean, it's a woman. It's a man needs a woman to really, you know, kind of like vent, bro. You know, like I'm not a mom's boy or a mama boy. How everybody want to, you know, portray. You know, like my mom's a very supportive mother, but at the same time, I feel like all men need something other than that. You know, like to be able to, express themselves. Like you need, you know, spontaneous to get that shit up off you because niggas deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, you know, we have that shit that drowns us out to catch that smile or that happiness or that you know what I'm saying? And it gotta be that person, you know, like it's not about what we go through, it's who we can vent to. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch on that topic. I'm gonna give you. See, that was the Rico answer right there, the side chick and all that. So I'm gonna give you the married with 3 kids version.
Yeah.
The problem with mental health for me is that in the black community specifically, therapy is like looked down upon. Like, you know, growing up, man, if you told somebody you in therapy, you crazy, something wrong with you. I think that's the biggest issue now, and that's what I'm teaching my son now. My son's 9, and I have him in therapy. And I want him to learn at an early age, it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to have different emotions. It's okay to talk about it and trust somebody. You know, because I know as being his dad, and you know, and our daughter's 19, they don't always come to us for stuff. So I just want him to have an escape. And I think if the urban community, you know, black, brown, if we start to look at therapy in a mature way, I think that's gonna help with, you know, all type of mental health or like, you know, any type of mental issue you have.
Correct.
Because us as men, we bottle stuff in and we hold it in and it turns into anger. And you know, therapy is just a way to just really express. And man, sometimes, man, I spend times in therapy, man, just crying my whole hour session.
Now, for real, bro.
Because I can't cry as a man. I don't feel comfortable crying in front of my family. You know, I can't cry. You know, I'm a leader at work. I can't cry in front of my.
I can cry.
Yeah.
You can see. You don't heard me cry. Breaking down, crying is a big. You have to.
Yeah,
As a man.
it releases endorphins. So, you know, I just think that therapy is something that, you know, I promote, and I think in the black community, it'll help all black men. Me and Brandon was talking about this last week. And so that's just my take on it. Again, you know, that ain't the Rico take. You know, Rico got the wild answers. You know,
I was just
stuff
playing.
down.
I was just playing.
And Rico's like,
Hey, you got a fly ass haircut.
Rico,
though. I didn't
yeah.
know.
Shout out to my barber. But I did, but you know, 20 years ago, I would have loved Rico to answer. You know, man, I have some mental issues. Let me knock something down. But
It ain't even that. It ain't even that. I was
I don't
just
know why y'all
playing.
listening to him.
God.
but on that note, Brandon, how do you feel?
Well, I think of it a little differently. No, I'm gonna take your idea though, and suggestion, and definitely find me a good therapist. But being a person that, like myself, a lot of people come to me because they think I have something, or whatever, I may have something, but I'm always there to support a lot of individuals, and sometimes it's hard for me to say no as well, right? But I don't have anyone that I can actually call and be like, you know what, can you do this for me? Or do this for me? The same people that come to me, and you know, I could do X, Y, and Z for them, but that really plays on my mental a lot, you know, sometimes. And I don't know if therapy actually will help with that, but sometimes I need a safe space for sure to just let out that, whatever that, or to vent or let out that extra energy that I got, you know, for sure. And I haven't felt
That's
that.
a big deal.
I haven't done that at all. Yeah, that really is so.
Because you can't pour into anybody else's cup if your cup is empty.
My cup is so empty right now. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. My
But
cup
that's
is
hard.
empty.
It's hard.
But that's because
It's so
you're a
hard.
natural giver. So
Yeah,
like
for
givers
sure.
cannot be around takers.
Man, that
You have
is
to be
hard.
around other givers
Correct.
because you have to
Yeah.
be able to really pour into each other's cup. Because if you're a giver
Mhm.
and you're around just takers, like you said, you're gonna be
I'm
empty,
dry.
depleted.
Yeah, dry.
And then that's you're messing up your own.
I basically just heard
That's
Tyra
right.
say that he needs to be in the room and everybody just giving it to each
Giving
other.
it to each other.
Like, we giving Brandon his flowers
There we go.
today, okay?
Give him his flowers. Shout out to Brandon. Come on, man. We gotta lift our boy up,
But
man.
no matter what podcast is here,
There we
for
go.
everybody at this table,
It's not a podcast, it's a show.
it's a show. You right?
Look,
I'm the one supposed to be checking people. I messed up.
Please.
She got it.
God.
Got The checker got checked.
Day, what you want?
Like I said, for me, mental health is something that I practice as a veteran. I have resources to have a therapist. So I take full advantage of all the benefits that I got as a vet. A lot of people don't, but I think you should. And really, like I said, I use my friends, I use my family, my confidant, and I'll let you fly. It's not a time where, well, at least now, I know like in my 20s I wasn't as open and transparent as I am now, but I feel like when you hold all of that shit in, you're gonna explode at some point. And I had that point, and since then it's like, okay, cool. Like, you can't be afraid to just, acknowledge how you feel in that moment, or take your time to process your emotions and then come back and have the conversation, or, find somebody that you can talk to. And I take full advantage of it.
So you being a veteran, by the way, salute to you. Thank you.
Shout out to the veterans.
Yes.
And the pairs.
Yes. I do notice, I have a lot of family members and friends that are veterans. We see the documentaries on, like, all the streaming platforms. What would you say is like the biggest cause? Because it's safe to say that veterans have a lot of mental health issues, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's it's in the public eye. What do you think is the cause of that? Because you're a veteran, so you know firsthand. Like, can you give us these examples?
Absolutely. So, long story short, when I joined the Navy, I was 21, right? So for women, like they say women mature faster, but I feel like with the opportunity that I was given to first go across the country, Japan was my first duty station, and I had never been out of the country. So it's like a lot of things that are thrown at you very fast. And then also the way of living in the military is not like ideal. And also it's a lot of stuff that you have to ask permission for as an adult. It's implemented for safety, but in any space, I feel like we're all humans, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's room for error. And the jobs that you do could be life and death. So it's a lot of things that take you on a mental roller coaster from the jump, like boot camp. You know what I'm saying? Like they break you down, or like whatever the terms they use, but
yeah,
realistically, shit's not fun. You know what I'm saying? So it just takes a strong person, like mentally, to get through that type of lifestyle, and then to continue on. It's like you find some type of stability in getting a check on the 1st and 15th. Like I feel like a lot of my coworkers or shipmates, as they would say in the Navy, were counting on that, and I feel like a lot of people do live like that, like, like I gotta, make the money and not really loving what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
I want to say, like, honestly, I've been cutting your hair for a couple of years.
Absolutely.
And I've never really asked her about that lifestyle, or, what, you being in the Navy or anything like that. And to hear it is like, you really got to check on your people. You really got to see about your people, or, just because they're so used to a certain, repertoire, or, just what you're following, routine, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you get to another level in life where you kind of gap yourself off to doing something different.
Yeah.
And
You're not
you remember it, but people don't. Like I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I didn't know that. You went through that with in the Navy and everything. I knew you were in the shout out to the Navy, the Army, the everything. But honestly, you really have to ask people about themselves, like how just because you say how you doing or how's your day going, you really gotta just.
It's so light that it's can be passive to just say, yeah, I'm okay.
Oh God, for sure.
That's the easy answer.
Yeah.
That's the easy answer.
You have to ask people about
But Chris, like I was saying, like the real answer is when people get out, people have their own career path when you get in, right? For me, I didn't go to war or anything like that. But the trauma from being on a ship and out to sea in a confined space, like all of those things now, I have an issue with. Like I have an issue, and as a photographer, like I'm in spaces where it's a lot of people, and I don't like it, but I know how to get in and how to get out.
Yeah.
That's one thing I will never forget is how to get in and how to get out. I'm breaking down a plan before I even get to where I'm going. Because I've just been trained like that, and also too because of my anxiety. You know, so it's like different shit will affect your day to day. But like I said, you gotta use the tools that you get in order to process through that and then get back into civilian life as well. And a lot of people from, you know, older generations, they're still homeless or, you know, like gone because it was just, they couldn't bounce back mentally. So it just depends. But I encourage everybody to look into your resources as a vet because they are there for you to get them no matter how hard it gets, because that's a whole nother thing that we could talk about. But please
check on your people.
So with that, and to your point, Day, and you touched on it too, Brandon, how important is it to have, for me I know it's important, but how important is it to have a supportive partner or a supportive family in your corner when you're building a business or when you're in this entrepreneurship journey? For me, I can't be around nobody that's lazy. I can't be around nobody who is not supporting me or who is not, like, I can't, like, bounce ideas back from. And also, like, if I have something that I need to, like, lay off of my chest, I need to be able to release too, because, you know, women gotta release at the same time. But why do, like, it's easier for us to release and, like, tell y'all everything and, like, oh, this happened.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Why it's not? You have something to say?
Why is it not?
No, you said
Brandon.
it's not.
Oh, I don't have an answer for why it's not for her.
Wait, hold on. Before you start, though, my other question was for y'all is why is it so hard for y'all to open up and, like, say what you guys are feeling?
Well, in a relationship, I feel like in the beginning, a man will tell you anything. In the beginning, once y'all talking or dating or whatever. But once a man hears what he said to you previously, and it's been used against him, he will not share nothing else with you.
Yeah.
He will never share anything else with you unless that door is reopened again, and it has to be reopened on his terms and whenever he feels comfortable to do that.
Because she crossed the line already.
You cross the line. So men are like, we're not as emotional as women, but we have emotions and we have and feelings, but we don't show them like that, you know, like women. You know, we ain't gonna wear them at all. But my long day, it might not even register today. You know what I mean? Like I might, she gonna like, how your day was? Like, it was cool.
That's a bar.
That was a wrap.
How your day was, Day?
You know, but yeah, so I think that plays a role. How you treat a man, how you treat your man, what you say to your man, and how you react to certain things that he is trying to present to you instead of critiquing everything that he may or may not do. Just be supportive, because the man, some men, not all, but we carry a lot of baggage that we would never probably even talk to our significant other or our whoever we're with or dating or whatever. We might not never share that, you know. So
But why is that? Why do you feel like you can't, like, share your baggage?
Because most of the time, you know, we're there to support the woman and what she might have been through. So if her day was long, I'm not gonna say my day was long and explain everything, but let me just go and maybe rub her feet or rub her shoulders or find something soothing for us to do.
So you know what the problem is? Y'all be choosing the wrong women. Because if the right person,
that's true.
if it's the right person, I feel like she would ask you too, and she'd be like, "Well, now tell me about your day. Like, how are you really feeling?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like men don't use their discernment when they're choosing women.
That's right.
Like they go off of like, "Oh, she looked good," or "She got this, she got that," without really knowing.
All of that is true. You are right.
Yeah, without really knowing who she is at her core, because your character is going to tell you more than her aesthetic.
It takes a while to get to know the right person.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
That's facts.
I actually want to hear from the family man, because he has somebody that.
But he got somebody at home too, though.
Yeah, see, I'm a little different because, for one, I'm a Virgo, so Virgos naturally, like, we don't really open up to you until we truly trust you or you know, mess with you the long way, or that's an LA thing, I don't know. Or, you know,
the Rico way.
Yeah, mess with you the long way. Mess with you the long way. But, you know, as far as like holding things in, see what I do for a living. I'm a chef. I'm in the hospitality, so I spend my whole career, the last 15 years, catering to other people. You know, and what comes with that is Yelp reviews, not making everybody happy. You know, what you think you're putting on a plate, some people don't like it, or just like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. So my balance is the support from my wife. You know, it has to have balance. You know, the hospitality and food industry is very, very negative, very negative. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. If somebody likes your restaurant or your food, they'll just come back. If somebody hates it, they go online and destroy you. So
even if they do like it.
Yeah, so there's more downplay and negativity than there is positive in the restaurant industry. So, you know, luckily I just have a wife that, you know, balances that. You know?
And it helps.
Yes.
So
what made you realize she was your wife?
I
got you, bro.
You know, like, this is true, a man knows when he wants to marry a woman. I don't care what no one says. Like, you know, I've been in relationships before where I knew it was temporary and it was just this and that. But when I met my wife, like, I knew right away, like, yo, I was gonna marry her. So a man does choose his wife. So, you know, she's my soulmate, she's my soulmate, my partner. And, you know, I already don't like a big group of friends. I'm not like that. You know, I like 2 or 3 good friends. That's it. I don't need a million friends. So.
Am I one of them?
Yeah, you one of them. Yeah, you gotta be one of them so my lineup stay clean. You know what I mean? But,
well, that's the only reason, Danny.
Yeah. So like Tyra,
yeah.
So like Tyra said earlier, you know, it is about choosing the right one, and you know, everybody's different. You know, your career and what you do really does factor into your relationship and mental health. I think it's touching both topics.
True.
If you do something for the money, it's going to affect your relationship because it's going to make you moody, in a bad mood, you know, and it's going to affect your mental health over the long run. So, you know, anybody out there listening, man, find the right man, woman, and I think that'll really play a part into decision making and your mental health.
Let me correct something you said. Maybe you're not having sex with someone unless you think they are potential for marriage
or child.
Or child.
Okay.
Wait, why would you have a child with? You just said that whoever you have a child with, you would marry.
Exactly, and that
So
that piggybacks everything. Yeah, it piggybacks everything. I feel that's a big deal. Like if I'm putting my stick into something, like she's got to be dope. She got to be dope. I'm not smashing nothing that's not dope.
I get what you're saying.
All right, so I heard what you said, Rico, and you know there's some parts I agree, some don't. But I think we're forgetting ultimately it is the woman's choice. No matter how player, you know, Rico and player we are, it has to be the woman's choice. You know, I did say earlier, a man, you know, chooses who he wants to marry. So does a woman, right? For women, I'm just curious, you know, Day and Tyra, what are your opinions on how you decide to determine like when you're gonna be intimate with a man? You know, like because it's ultimately your choice first. You know, a man can hit on you and say they want you and they want to take you down all they want, but it's ultimately your choice. So for the viewers out there, like, you know, there might be some young man like the dude that was sitting in Rico's chair who doesn't know that. Like, what are some of the things you look for in a man or a woman and deciding to be intimate, because that's important because it is your choice.
Right. 100%.
What if you lick it up though? Like, for real, just be honest. Y'all need to talk about that shit.
It really don't. I'm sorry. I have to say I don't care. Listen, I'm gonna say something because I have to catch it. No, listen.
I wish y'all at that table.
So that it's limited clean.
Okay, respectfully, before it goes to Tyra, when Chris Brown said it was about the woman's decision, I feel like there's a lot of men that have that position where a woman is pushing up on the guy and want to get knocked up and really like that guy. Like it's not women are always the majority in these type of situations, you know, and it's a small number of men that have that say so, because it's not a lot of cats out here like me. I'm not going around just trying to smash on anything. I'm very intentional with what I'm smashing or what I'm dealing with. So if I do decide to deal with the shorty, I'm willing to go all the way with that woman. I'm willing to go ahead and have a child with that woman. I'm willing to take on anything she comes with and to add 10 to I'm adding to it. I'm never gonna take away. So I feel like I respect what Chris Brown is saying. I understand it, but that's not all men. Some men are literally intentional with what they do and how they move, because some men pursue women for years, and once they get it, it's kind of like, I'm there. If it happens and she gets pregnant and it does go there, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it breaks off because some women don't meet their peak until a certain point. And then they'll get knocked up by somebody or have a family with the individual and then hit that peak to where they want to venture out and enjoy themselves and start living and clubbing, and that'd be too late. And it messes up a man's mental health or a woman's mental health. And then you fight that to keep it, and it's too late. And now it's like, I should have never, you know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of men don't understand. Like, you have to.
So to answer your question, Chris, I do agree with you on some parts, Rico, but to answer your question, Chris, what I look for personally is I'm very intentional with everything I do. So with business, with the person that I'm talking to, I'm not gonna just talk to anybody. Like I didn't date anyone for like 4 years. No dating, no sex, like nothing for 4 years after I had my son, because I'm like, I'm not going down this cycle again. And so I have to be very intentional. And for me, action is very important, because like Brandon said earlier, like you can say all you want to, but if the action and there's no follow through, then it means absolutely nothing to me. And so I'm intentional with your words matching your action. And if I see a future, similar to Rico said, if I see a future and can see a future with you, then I'll go that step with you. I also have a son. And so you gotta be good with my son, because, you know, that's my kid. Like, we can't blend a family if you're not good with my son. And so all of that is a factor when I decide to talk to somebody. And to your point, Rico, like, I do agree with, like, there are some no shit men, but there's also men who are really good and who you can trust and who you can do that. But that's, again, goes back to your discernment of, like, you know, like, is this the right person? And you have to watch the actions, you have to watch the words, you gotta pray, because God will tell you every time. But but all of that takes into account on who you want to take that next step with. You know what I mean? And you don't want to waste your time. And I never say anything is a waste of time, because everything is a lesson and everything has its own journey, and you have to go through your own respective journey. But you also have to be intentional about everything that you do. You don't want to waste any time, you know? But also don't feel bad if you feel like you wasted time, like, because you're not wasting time. It's just part of something. It was a lesson that you needed to learn so that you can meet your person.
Absolutely.
So yeah, for me, it took 4 years of like figuring it out and deciding like, okay, I'm gonna get myself back out
So you
there.
were throwing that motherfucker back for 4 years?
No, absolutely not.
Oh my God.
I was very intentional.
Cookie.
Nah, for me, I feel like, again, intent is important. Communication. Like, communication is a huge thing for me. It's like, if we can't have a conversation, what are we doing?
Right.
So I just feel like, also too, I can read people. I'm good at, you know, getting to the root of what's going on. And that's just by trial and error. And also too, I like to put people on a trial. You know, you gotta put out, it's not like games, you know, it's not necessarily games, but you just gotta see people when the pressure is on, you know, like see how people handle stress. You know what I'm saying? So I like to, you know, just take my time. Slow and steady wins the race. I say it all the time.
That's big.
That's huge, because I remember I used to work at a country club. It was my first job ever, and like one of the oldest ladies, she was like, you know, you can't marry someone or be with anybody unless you see them through different seasons, right?
Absolutely.
So like when they're sick, when they're mad, when they're stressed, like when you travel with them, because that'll show you different parts of a person.
Facts.
To really see if you can even go to that next level.
Facts.
And so all of that, not a trial, but like
right. But also too, like knowing yourself. I think a lot of people.
That's the deal breaker.
Man, I think a lot of people out here don't know themselves to even try to, you know, teach somebody else how to love them or like them, or how to the love language that like people just don't get themselves. So I feel like knowing yourself is a big thing, because you're going to be able to let the person that you're interested in know, hey, this is what I do like, this is what I don't like.
When I opened up the show today, one of the things I said was I'm sitting with some bosses, right? So you look around, we're all bosses, all entrepreneurs, we all have our thing going. So I say that to say this. We all run businesses with social media. Social media is the new www. How important is it to be honest with like how your business truly is, where it stands, or do you think that it's common or normal, or is it accepted to kind of fake that confidence or fake that it's success for your mental? You know what I mean? That blue check mark did a lot of damage to people, man. That blue check mark really showed you people's true colors. Followers really shows you people's true colors. Likes, man, we all thrive for that. I know people that be checking their phone every 5 seconds. Oh, it went up, what up. How do you guys feel about that? Are you guys on board with like kind of faking it as far as being bosses and business owners, or are you more the natural, organic, like you don't mind posting a photo picture from your business that has 12 likes versus someone that has 25,000 likes? Does that bother your mental? I think that's a good subject to talk about as bosses. I want to start with Brandon. Brandon just dropped a movie. He just dropped a Tubi movie.
He's on there.
He just dropped a Tubi movie. Yes.
It
It wasn't really Tubi movie,
was a
Tubi
whole
quality. So, what all you guys said, I agree. I'm all for being, authentic, being organic and stuff like that. But I've also been on the other side. I ran multiple businesses, a lot of restaurants, and I'm kind of more on the business mindset of sometimes you do have to fake it, right? As opposed, so a restaurant I ran, when we paid for the followers or paid for that blue check mark or paid for those good Yelp reviews, like all that brought in business and it brought money. For us, as people running the business, we don't care about that stuff. We don't care about being fake. We care about what's coming in. We care about sales. We care about growth. We care about, leading to other opportunities to open more restaurants. So I'm kind of hearing what you guys say from my personal Instagram, but like as far as the business, yeah, sometimes, man, faking it or faking the funk for social media, it does generate business. We gotta be honest too. Have you guys ever thought about going to another restaurant for the first time? First thing you do is used to go to Yelp, right? That used to be what we did back in the day. Now it's Instagram. When I see a restaurant that I'm interested in going in and their page is popping and they got followers and they got us, it's gotta be bomb. It already puts me in that mindset of I'm gonna enjoy the experience because 150,000 people are also following them and also enjoying it and liking it and sharing it. So yeah, I'm kind of with it's okay to kind of be fake with the business, Now I do understand some of y'all grow like Brandon, he grew his organically and all that, but I might not been in the game as long as on my burger, so I need to start quick. So yeah, let me go ahead and buy the 150,000 followers and buy this because now my business is popping.
So let me cut you off for a second. So I've tried limitless restaurants that's popping, right, from social media, and not one of them have been good. And I think that's what causes me not to do what they do.
Say that.
Because I don't want to be fake, and now when my customers come, they're not going to return because they just came at one time for this fake whatever. But what I'm really giving them is real quality, real food, real service, and they coming back multiple times, even in the same day.
But what if the food is good though? So what if
I have not encountered it yet.
I'm gonna speak on that. I'm gonna bang out on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk.
I'm gonna bang out.
But you got to think of the flip side though. So it's a young, talented chef whose food is really good. He just doesn't have the brand or the name to really show people that the food are good. So him using the tools to grow his business and people are coming in and the hype and the followers that he bought is backed up by the food, and now he's taking off and he's everywhere now.
Yes.
That can happen.
That can happen, but I would probably, if I was to give someone some advice, I would put that money that you're going to buy these followers with, put that money into the marketing and behind your product so you can actually get that real
but isn't that part of marketing though?
I don't know, because if you're buying fake numbers, those people aren't the people that are coming in.
I
Those
gotta
are just
think
people
about
that
it.
are just sitting at the
That's a
number,
box.
and they're just a bot.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean? So, you know.
well, hold on, because me and Brandon both chefs. So,
Okay, I'm
so-
gonna run it up.
so
Cause y'all chefs, and I'm a
yeah.
consumer.
There we go.
So, but the numbers aren't to prove that these people are coming. The numbers are to support the people making the decision to come. So I think that is a part of marketing. Don't you agree?
Well, yeah, if you
Yeah.
think of it that way.
I mean,
yeah,
what's the
for
difference
sure.
between I'm paying somebody to stand outside and spin a sign that says, "Hey, come in here,"
Right.
as opposed to I'm making a one-time purchase that's going to motivate people to come in here across the city, not just on the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think we considered that marketing. That was part of our
Absolutely.
marketing budget because social media is like the new Yellow Pages. It's the new Tell a Friend.
True.
Whether those followers and likes are real or fake, we just need them to get people to come in through the door and see how good our food is. And now we've built a returning clientele.
Mhm.
That's my whole concept behind some businesses having to do that.
Mhm.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Respectfully, I feel like I grew up in the greater Los Angeles area. From I want to say South Central, East Side, South Bay, all the way down to Palos Verdes area, up this way. You know what I'm saying? But in all reality, great food are staples. Great restaurants are staples. They're gonna be there through the down and the ups. And On My Burger's been around for a while. A long time.
He's
You
obsessed with
guys
On My
did
Burger.
it.
He's-
No, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
just uplift
Yeah.
everything, bro. Like I know, like when it's great, it's great.
Yes, sir.
You know, like I'm a barber, you know, and people come to me because they like me. They like my grind, they like my hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and it's what you put into your food. It's not how much you spend on your products. It's not how much you spend on your tools. It's what your hands, your love, all that. It's passion. It's very, very individual on how you grow your business. You can buy likes, you can buy, people are gonna pursue for that. They're gonna wanna know what that stood for. And I understand. Promise to you, this was about 12 years ago. Maybe, I don't know, like maybe a little more. It was a shorty, she was like, have you tried that burger with the donuts, with the bacon and all? And I was like, no, what you mean? She was like, you gotta go try it. This over there. I'm like, man, and then, you know, like you like, damn, you know, that was before the likes and Instagram, all of that, bro. Like, before that was going. So you kind of understand, like, it's not the likes, it's not the blue check, it's really, at the end of the day, you gotta go see about that.
It's the experience.
But you kind of proving my point by saying you got to go see about
You gotta
that.
see about that.
That's my whole point. It's like when I say by buying followers and buying likes, that's kind of like being the new dude in the barbershop saying, "Hey, bro, give me a chance. Let me cut you so I can show you what I got."
Yeah.
That's kind of the theory and thought behind a lot of big businesses that do that. Because I work for some big businesses that have to do that, and it works. Statistically, every time I've seen it, it does work. You are just buying, basically, it's advertisement. So it's like buying a billboard, basically. You know, but you're doing
But
it through social
we would
media.
do it. I would do it.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
buy a billboard.
Yeah, that's how these businesses look at it, because social media is like food and everything is we eat with our eyes, right? But we just got to get you through the door so we can show you how good we are. And same with a barber. You know, chefs and barbers, we're all in the art world. We're cousins. So I'm looking at it more like, man, if this dude is a barber, his page is lit, whether the followers are real or not, I'm gonna give him a shot because he looks lit online. I get in the chair, the haircut is flawless. You my new barber. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to a dude who has like 12 followers. I'm like, I'm cool. I'm gonna go with Rico, the verified dude that got a lot of likes, a lot of followers. He's lit. I would prefer him cut my hair because he has a following, and that tells me his following. He's popping. You know what I'm saying? That's.
But then what if you get in the chair and tear your shit up?
Yeah, but see but that's a risk though, because it doesn't matter where you go. I've been to some places who don't even have a social media, mom and pop, and they're amazing, and no one knows.
I got a
who
question
they are.
though about that.
Yeah.
So have you ever, as a chef, have you guys ever got a bad review and fucked some shit up?
All the time. It's part of the game.
Mhm.
Man.
And it,
Not everyone's gonna like what you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, how do y'all like accept that? Like me as a barber, when somebody tell me like, "Oh, you did this," I'm be like, "Well, go to somebody else." I promise you, like, because my thing is that I know like the stove's not perfect.
True.
Product isn't as fresh as you want to be sometimes. But as a barber, when somebody be like, "Oh, bro, this is that. Oh, my fault." You know what I'm saying? But if you put 10s on the complaint, I'm like, bro, you can go.
Well,
All
I
chefs
think
are
that
different,
matters,
though.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
No, go ahead.
So all chefs are different. I come from like a fine dining background, Michelin stars and all that. So I was trained like to be perfect. A chef once told me too. He looks for the bad. He wants to hear the bad, not the good. We don't want to hear the good. We don't get better from the good. We get better from the bad.
Right.
So that's just how I'm programmed. And Brandon knows. He's seen me work. I'm a perfectionist. Like I need things to be perfect. Whether I'm cooking a Wagyu, U5 scallop, or I'm cutting a piece of lettuce, it's gonna be done perfect. That's just how I'm programmed. So I welcome criticism. I that's how I became a better chef. I need to know what my mistakes are so I don't make them again. I lost my first TV show, and after that I won every one because I watched that show. I obsessed over it. I learned from my mistakes what I did on TV, and that's how you just grow as a chef. Anyway, there might be some people watching that want to be chefs. I'm not sure, listening, watching. But as far as like the restaurant industry, we learn from the bad. So you got to have thick skin being a chef, man, because you can serve 10 people and 5 people are gonna say it was the best meal they ever had in their life. 5 people are gonna say it's the worst place I've ever had. You just have to learn from that and take it with a grain of salt. Not everybody sees your vision, not everybody sees your food. But to jump on what you said about complaints, like I welcome them. I look for the bad, and I know that, this all ties in with mental health and everything. But, mentally, I've learned to just take it for what it is and learn from it and grow from it. And repetitive mistakes definitely means that it's a real issue. If I see something that's too salty, that's one person out of hundreds. But if I see 10 people say it, then it is, I have to put my ego to the side. And you can't have an ego being a chef. You have to be open-minded and you have to really just understand that you're in the business of serving food, so you gotta have thick skin.
That's where I look at both of you guys. Like, I don't feel like both of you guys. Like, I don't think just chefs. Like, I feel like it's your lives, your livelihood. Like, because what I know from you is big motion, TVs and all that. And what I know from you is South Bay, Hawthorne, all that. Man, you are a big staple in the area, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
So
How do you take on criticism and negativity and all that, like owning the business in the food world?
I welcome it because, like you said, we learn from those mistakes, or we only get better from there. But some comments are more personal than food related. I feel sometimes too. So we're not just judged off of our food. We're judged from a customer parking, from when they pull up to the establishment. You know what I mean? So
yeah, bro.
The bathrooms.
Every little
That's a
aspect
big
of,
deal, though. That's a deal breaker. Bathrooms and restaurants are deal breakers.
Yes, bathrooms.
No
the
cap.
Service. Even the brand of ketchup you use for your. So everything is judged, So you have to really have some thick skin, I would say, for sure, because you're gonna hear some.
Yeah. To bank on when you were saying the social media thing, and you were like, you utilize social media, bro did something with the ketchup stuff, but you started it. You kicked that off.
With the ranch?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I seen everybody else do it.
What was that before you ranch?
And it was like, everything. He kicked it off, and then I see everybody else do it. So
no shade to the LA game, but I will personally say, working with Brandon, he does set a lot of trends.
Yes, he does.
Trends.
True indeed.
And I don't want to, it's a small community, so I got to be careful what I say, because we are brothers. But I just see a lot of copying and and a lot of mimicking and you know, I talk to Brandon about it all the time, and it's
He did it.
I ain't
But we got to bank on too
it.
because they both,
yeah.
you know, she has the agency,
Oh yeah.
creative agency, and then she is a great videographer, and she's done multiple things for sports, you know, entertainment and everything like that. So how do y'all feel about that? You know, like just being I'm not saying y'all chefs, y'all can't touch these niggas, you know.
But you-
because I don't know if y'all can cook. I ain't never had your food, but I mean, in all reality, like, you know, speak on it.
I feel like ego can't play a part in anybody that's in entrepreneurship or just in general in life, because you can't have ego in relationships, you can't have ego in business. Even if you're a 9-to-5er, you can't operate in your ego because your ego will completely ruin you.
Absolutely.
And so you have to be open to criticism, like you said, and open to change and open to learning and growing. I feel like I've been in this industry for 10 plus years, but I feel like I'm still learning and I'm still open for people to tell me like, oh, this didn't happen how I expected it to happen. So I'm like, okay, let me regroup. I mean, it don't happen often, but let me regroup and, you know, figure out where the mishap happened. You know what I mean? But you have to be open to that because otherwise you're just gonna be stagnant. And so, like, I've had situations where a client was like, oh, I don't really like these venue options. I'm working with huge budgets sometimes. So I can't play with nobody's money. Like, this is thousands of dollars, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars that I can't play with. And so for me, similar to you, Chris, like, I'm a super perfectionist. And so I have spreadsheets on spreadsheets. I'm tracking everything. I'm, like, tracking emails. Like, shout out to my team, Kim and Dana, because they held me down. But you know, like, I just have to be very organized, and so we have tons of Google Drives and folders where we hold people's invoices and we're tracking budgets, but, you know, sometimes stuff happens. Nobody is perfect, but I have to make sure that I'm on my P's and Q's as the owner of my agency, because at the end of the day, everybody's gonna look at me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Tyra didn't do it right.
Not them.
Not them. And so, and then it doesn't even matter what it is, because it could be the client's mistake, but I'm the producer, like, I have to catch that. I'm supposed to catch that. And so I'm huge on accountability too. Like, if I make a mistake or if my team makes a mistake, I'm gonna own up to it and say, you know, like, oh, I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna figure it out for you.
Absolutely.
You know what? You know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna figure it out and we're gonna make it right and we're gonna do better going forward. But like you guys said, like, I'm very open to criticism and making sure that, like, I stay on top of it, because my reputation is everything to me. So, and I don't operate out of ego. Like, I'm open
And I think
to
we
learn.
all at this table are owners, honestly.
Yeah,
No,
no,
yeah.
absolutely.
Facts.
And that's why I wanted to generalize it to entrepreneurship as a whole, because it's not just like the hospitality, it's the customer service that you have to do, the customer service that I have to do, like the budgets that we have to all work with, and tracking things. Like, you can't operate in your ego, like, period. Otherwise you're gonna be stagnant.
For
like,
sure,
you cannot,
for sure.
like, in any relationships, business, like I said, like, you can't operate in ego because you're gonna be stuck.
At a certain point,
I wouldn't even call it ego though.
it's something like, cause it's gonna be a
confidence.
point. Yeah, it's gonna be a point where a lot of people don't like you in your industry.
Absolutely.
You know, whatever you want.
But
There's
that's-
gonna be some people that dislike you, and you have to go harder with that dislike, because you have to disciple those things.
But that's confidence. I wouldn't call that ego.
Or
I would call it
you know.
confidence, because, like, if you're confident in who you are and what you offer to your people, like, yeah, I'll take that, but you're not gonna downgrade like what I do, because I know I do great. You know what I
Ego
mean?
is more like, you know, it's time to take criticism or hear
And you
feedback.
can't
Yeah,
take it.
that's more of an ego.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, like, I feel like ego too is like who you know you are.
That's confidence.
I mean, ego too, because a lot of people would judge that. That's ego. Like, a person, you know, people will call your confidence ego. Right or wrong.
Arrogant.
But
Like,
it's how,
arrogance,
but it's
you
how
know,
you
like, or
carry
whatever,
it.
like,
It's
Because
how you
if I,
carry it.
like, if somebody be like this, that, and the third, like, oh, I these shares wasn't as great as the last person's shares, like, and you gonna be like, well, girl, I don't give.
That
Yeah.
that's ego. Ego is more like
It's
how you
like,
carry it.
like knowledge and understanding and like.
But okay, if somebody was like, you know, your salmon was a little bland.
Salmon.
Yeah, somebody told me
No,
if
You
somebody
know?
told me my salmon was bland. Me saying no, it's not. That's an ego factor.
Yeah,
But
that's an
you- but see,
egotistical response.
But see,
Yes.
you are gonna. I'm gonna be like,
You just, I think you're getting ego and arrogance confused.
I think it's me because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, I think
Your
I'm gonna call
arrogance
it.
will come off.
Yeah, I'm gonna call off what it is. Like, I don't care. Like, my thing is I've gotten this far. Like, grown so much from what I could have been and where I should have been to where I'm at now that nobody would ever believe it.
Yeah.
So I have to wear it heavy.
Yeah.
You know, and so if anybody downs or try to go against the grain, it's up. Because I did this shit, so I take this on my skin, my blood, my soul. It's my mindset.
That's what it is. Like everybody's reaction doesn't deserve a response because people are gonna always have something to say.
And that's
like
what,
I'm in a phase right now where I'm like, whatever you think, that's what it is. Like I don't care to prove myself because I know who I am. But that's the difference between being confident and having an egotistical response. Because an egotistical response, first thing I'm thinking of is like, no, I know you don't know who I am. Like, you know, whatever.
but it's hard to do that when you haven't experienced like other people's lifestyles. Like lifestyles are important.
It's absolutely important, but everybody's not gonna understand where you've come from.
But that's why you gotta show them up. You gotta pop out and show a nigga, cause it's
that's
real,
fine,
bro.
but not to everybody.
No. I mean, I'm gonna do it. That's just me. I don't care. Like, and that's where I'm at in life, and that's why I've separated who fuck with me and who don't because of how much I'm gonna die about this shit.
But I think both.
I'm serious.
And that's you should.
I'm gonna die about this shit, nigga. This is on me. It ain't in. It's in me. It ain't on me. Pause.
Yeah.
But I'm dead ass serious, bro.
No,
like,
and I think
I
everybody.
done worked too hard and lost so much.
Alright, y'all. So it's been a great time.
It's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
We done
Amazing.
beat the dead horse.
We're gonna beat the table to death.
Right.
I'm sorry, dog. I don't think there's no mic on the table.
But nah,
It's
so
4 mics on the table.
It's not on the table, but it is what it is.
with this being the no matter what show, I feel like it's important for us to close out with this. So I'm gonna start it off. No matter what and then you fill in the blank, right? Okay. So no matter what, I plan to just keep going with Dave Michelle Photography. That is my passion. That is what I love to do. That is everything for me. So no matter what, that's what it is. Dave Michelle Photography.
Amen.
Brandon, what you got?
Damn,
That was big.
it was. No matter what, I, Brandon, 2025.
And beyond.
Well, yeah, and beyond, will start my own movie production company.
Nice.
I want to be on it. I want to be on it. I want to be on it.
Everybody I know will be on
Let's
it.
Manifest that.
You should put a
Manifest.
commercial.
We are. This is it. It's
That's
us.
fire.
I'm praying for you.
Y'all heard it here first.
First.
Oh, my production's coming.
There we go.
Ooh, oh my.
Hey,
What you got?
Chris.
No matter what, I, Chris Brown, will continue to just work on my craft and, you know, grow as a chef and just continue to master my crafts. You know, I love being a chef. I love what I do. Every day is a day of mastering my craft, so I'm just going to continue to work on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Big Reed.
What's the deal? It's gonna go crazy. But no matter what, I'm gonna uplift everyone around me and support everyone around me because when y'all win, I win. When y'all win, I win. So I don't know the day, the hour, the time. But if I keep the mindset and the understanding of my peers and my surroundings winning and being successful, and they want to receive that energy and that mindset, we gonna all win. We're gonna all be there. So I just want to give back what's given to me, and that's the winning mindset.
I love that.
I'm kind of
Big
annoyed
T.
because that's literally what I was about to say.
Big Mama. Uh-oh. We got it. Big old boy from T.
Hey, like, why do you sit next to me getting in my head? But anyway, I was gonna say, no matter what, I want to continue to be a pillar of support for not only you guys at this table, but for everybody that supports me. I feel like anybody who comes to me and says like, oh, I do this, that, and the third, I really try to plug them. And so, however I can, like whatever that looks like. And so I want to continue to do that. And to also just be a listening ear, you know, because I feel like a lot of people don't, I'm a good listener. So, but I feel like a lot of people don't have like, you know, they don't have anybody to go talk to. So I'm here to
The
listen
resources.
when I'm not busy. No, I'm just kidding. But no matter what, I'm proud to be here as a pillar of support for people who are trying to get out there and really chase their dreams. And I will be growing Lenoir Agency, but stay tuned. That's it. But I think this was a great show.
Cheers.
I
to the first one.
appreciate all of y'all for tuning in to episode
Thank
1.
you.
We're not supposed to cheers with empty glasses.
We're not.
Y'all be
It's a
drinking.
little swallow
That
in
nigga
there.
say,
This is
that
like
nigga talk
Rule
to say,
number
that ain't in my cup, my pocket ain't empty, nigga.
and that's
What
a
you guys think
wrap.
so far? You guys enjoyed
It was
it?
freedom,
I
right?
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. You gonna work on this next one?
Oh, right.